Hello, welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today we have a Weird House Press unboxing. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've used to buy a ton of Weird House Press titles. I still buy a bunch of Weird House Press titles, but the last few that I've purchased is part of their Classics line, and the signed editions, the deluxe editions, haven't quite shipped yet. This is the first one that is shipped. So this, my friends, is The King in Yellow, the classic horror collection. I've actually never read it. Robert W. Chambers. It's a sequence of short stories and poems that come together to form The King of Yellow. Now, this was first announced... what's my order date? September. So this was the first of their classic line, announced back in September. Usually the turnaround time on Weird House Press is really quick. These ones, it has been, a couple months. It's still quick compared to some presses. But this is also the first one, so hopefully they get nothing but quicker from here. It was originally announced as part of just lettered editions. 52 lettered? Maybe it was 26. I think it's 52, though, because they do lettered and then they do double lettered. I believe this is one of the double lettered ones. So these ones came with a slipcase, but then they had some PC copies, as well as some some numbered copies, and then, of course, some unsigned copies. And I am intrigued by it. I mean, it's bonded leather cover, nothing too fancy, but I do like the kind of old tome design here with the stamping on it. Oh, look at it. It says Classics on the spine as well. You've got some end papers, some King in Yellow end papers. Frontispiece by K.L. Turner. I know it includes some artwork by K.L. Turner as well. This is a single letter. Double letter, I don't think comes with a slipcase. That's what it is. This is, of course, signed by K.L. Turner, who did the artwork, and Richard Gavin, who did an introduction for this volume. So, Weird House Classics is taking it's got a facsimile for Robert W. Chambers as well. It's pretty cool. It's taking classic tales, classic stories, classic collections, and it's giving it a bonded leather, leatherette edition. They're all going to have some stamping on the cover similar to this one. And, that intrigues me. It almost reminds me, in a way, of the little books that Borderlands has done, but the most recent little books. Once upon a time, Borderlands did little books that were contemporary authors providing, little tidbits or contemporary tales. But the past few collections from Borderlands have all been... There's actually a pretty decent number of illustrations here. The past few collections from Borderlands have all just been public domain stories. And so, the classics here are going to also be public domain. But, it helps keep the costs down a little bit. I believe the numbered and unsigned editions, which still have the bonded leather, I think they're like $30-$40, which isn't bad at all. No, it's not going to be as fancy as, some of the other presses out there, such as Subterranean Press, Suntup, Cemetery Dance, but, it is reflected within that price point. So, future titles, I should say, this is also not the only edition of The King in Yellow that is being done. It's the only one being done by Weird House, but I know... it was Pegana Press. I want to say Pegana Press, which is a fine press. They're slowly doing The King in Yellow in some very fine letterpress printed goodness. Way outside of my price point, but I do have several things from Pegana, mostly some broadsides. They're very nice quality, and I do love me some letterpress work, but unfortunately the huge project such as this, a huge undertaking, is a little too pricey for me. Which is kind of funny to say, because I did just have a I do have a very large unboxing video from No Reply Press, from some small press, fine press, letterpress printed goodies that will be uploaded very soon. I'm doing these in the order that they've been received, although sometimes I bump them up in the queue, such as the short stop from Conversation Tree, and this one is also getting bumped up just because I know they are releasing or announcing new titles I don't say frequently, but it's like once a month. So I figured I really I haven't seen any photos of these online yet, so I kind of wanted to showcase it here. That way, if you were on the fence for any upcoming Weird House Classic titles, this could possibly assist you in your decision making. It's pretty nice. Like I said, it's not going to be as fancy as some of the other presses out there, but I mean it's reflected in that price, and yeah, I mean I like it. Like I said, I've never read The King in Yellow. Hopefully they did a nice little job proofreading this, because that is one thing that can be said about Borderlands Press, is that they have a lot of typos, a lot of errors popping up in their recent editions, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. So I don't know if any copies of this one are still available. I know there are a handful of copies of the remaining titles available. Second title is William Hope Hodgson, House in the Borderland, which is actually also being done in a very fancy edition from Conversation Tree Press. So this is the much more affordable edition compared to that one. That one's fully sold out, but I believe there's a copy or two left for the Weird House edition. They're also doing The King of Elfland's Daughter, Lord Dunsany, and they're also doing, it's a collection of Lovecraft stories, a sequence of that, In a Dark, Deep Slumber or something like that. I'm probably butchering it. Name's probably completely wrong, but I believe copies of all of those editions are still available as well. But yeah, no, I do actually have another Weird House Press unboxing that I have to do as well, which is a Jeffrey Thomas title that I have been waiting on. That one actually arrived during the 2 weeks when I was dealing with all sorts of personal chaos. More on that in the other videos. But like I said, I want to bump this one up the queue just because I hadn't seen any of these online. I figured it'd be worth sharing. That way, if you're on the fence of any of these Weird House Classic titles, you can get a feel for it visually as well. I mean, like I said, it's not going to be the fanciest edition out there, but for the price point, I think it's pretty nice. I do have all three of the other classics on order as well, just because the idea of having a matching set is very appealing to me. They're not going to match in terms of letters, because I think one or two of them I had to go with a double lettered, because 26 lettered copies go up pretty quickly. So it'll be a shame not to have the slipcase for them, because it'd be cool to have a matching set with slipcases. Maybe I can repurpose a slipcase from another book to find one that fits the double lettered titles. We'll see. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Check out Weird House Press. Joe Morey and Curtis M. Lawson do an incredible job with the titles out there. It's nice, very cheap, affordable hardcovers, and it's filling a good gap that used to once upon a time be filled by Dark Regions Press, which was actually originally founded by Joe Morey. So the issues that Dark Regions had where they went under, that's not Joe Morey, that was his son. Joe Morey had retired, and then he actually unretired to do Weird House Press, and I've never had any issues with any of their titles. They're very quick on shipping. Like I said, this was the longest wait between ordering something and actually having it ship, and we're only talking a few months, which isn't bad at all. I know the unsigned hardcovers, the unslipcased editions, had already shipped. They actually shipped late last year, so there was a quick turnaround time on those. I think the wait on this was predominantly probably driven by the either the signature pages and or the slipcases. But man, yeah, also same thing with Cemetery Dance. Cemetery Dance used to put out kind of affordable hardcovers. Subterranean Press used to put out affordable hardcovers before they went more in the higher end market, and I feel like Weird House Press is really, really the perfect fit for that smaller. I don't want to say lesser quality edition, because they're still very nice for the price point. But But you know what I mean, as opposed to like the spectrum of like high-end limited editions and trade editions. They fall in a very nice kind of midpoint there with Weird House Press. Very nice editions. Worth checking out. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to see more Weird House Preston titles, I have a whole playlist of them that you can check out. I do at least one book review a week with plenty of other unboxing videos in between here and there. So please consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.